So the co-main event of UFC 268 was Rose Namajunas defending her strawweight title in an immediate rematch against the former champ Zhang Weili. Of course, the first time around when they fought, Rose finished her with a quickness, quick head kick about 70, 80 seconds into the fight. So it was a quick one. We didn't get to see much. The promotion decided, hey, why not put it together? Let's see if it goes any differently. And of course, it went very differently. Zhang Weili training out of, I believe it was Fight Ready in Arizona with Henry Cejudo, Eric Albert Hassan, all those guys. So a lot of people were expecting, a different game plan out of Weili, maybe some new kinks to her game, It definitely was a different game plan. Weili trying to, of course, we didn't even get to really see her game plan in the first fight, but in this fight, Weili trying to impose the wrestling, make it a more grappling heavy approach, impose her physicality, that kind of thing it seemed like. But man, for the most part, Rose was doing a great job keeping distance. It's so fun to just watch her move, her footwork. She's so, her footwork is so next level. It's just fun to just watch her flow around the octagon. I mean, she could just not even throw a punch, and I would sit there and just watch her just move around the octagon, switching stances. I mean, it's really fun to see her, how elusive she is, going in at different angles, different patterns, all that kind of stuff. It's very, very, fun to just watch her move. There's not too many fighters I could say about that, but Rose is one of them. But Weili did it, and that for that reason, Weili did have a hard time closing distance in the striking. Anytime Weili was winding up with a big overhand right, it was telegraphed and Rose could see it coming a mile away. I think it was the second and third round. Weili had some success with the takedowns, getting the fight to the ground. And she obviously, I think it was the second round, she won with pretty much ground up top ground control time the whole round. She didn't pass the guard, if I remember correctly. She was in Rose's full guard the whole time. Maybe got to half guard here and there and got put back in the full guard, that kind of thing. But Weili winning the round, from top position, but didn't really do much from there besides control. And then she goes there, I believe, the next round, and Rose did a better job at getting up off her back, throwing lots of up kicks, creating space, and getting to her feet. And it was a lot harder for Weili to keep Rose on her back at that point. Weili might have got her down a couple more times throughout the fight, but Rose would get up within, timely manner of the takedown. And there was a time where Weili got to mount, but wasn't able to keep the mount. Either the clock expired or she lost position, but she didn't really land too much ground and pound or anything from that position either. There was a couple moments in the fight where Weili was able to kind of get to the back of Rose, but wasn't able to really get the hooks in and that kind of thing. I believe there was one moment where Weili did get both hooks in, but she wasn't able to really start threatening the choke quite yet. Maybe she did kind of start to threat if I remember correctly, actually, she started to threat the choke, and then Rose kind of spun around, turned into her, spun on top into the choke and took full guard and ended up controlling position from top there. So, at first you're thinking, oh man, Weili might be able to impose her wrestling and keep top position and win a fight with, ground control time. But at the end of the day, you started to see Rose realize that kind of strategy and not stay comfortable on her back. Rose was not comfortable on her back. She did a good job scrambling, getting up to her feet, that kind of thing. I believe it was only the second round where she spent most of her time on the back. So, on her back, I should say. But, very impressive stuff from Rose. I think she kind of showed she was the superior grappler on the ground once the fight got to the ground. Of course, Weili had pretty good wrestling. Actually, Rose, too, in the fifth round, had a perfectly timed, perfectly set up, very well executed takedown in the fifth round and pretty much rode the rest of that fifth round with top position on top of Weili, So with that being said, she kind of used what seemed to be Weili's game plan, used it on her in the fifth round to much success, So this fight was a lot different from, I think, what a lot of people expected. Of course, Weili training with Henry Cejudo, I think people did expect Weili to try to wrestle, but of course, people still, I think, expected a bit of a firefight, especially with Rose, a striker, more striking, but Rose was being elusive. There was a lot of grappling involved in this fight, so it wasn't exactly like the crazy barn burner most people expected. But Rose was still landing some big shots. I mean, she was landing nice right hands, nice combinations. Impressive stuff from Rose, and Weili showed that she is tough. And that first fight, although I hate to call it a fluke, she got kicked in the head and knocked out, but it wasn't a regular that's not what you should come to expect when those two step in the octagon. It would be a good way to phrase that thought. But yeah, so with that being said, despite Weili losing, she proved she's still going to be one of the top contenders in this women's strawweight division moving forward. I'd love to see Weili fight like Marina Rodriguez or Joanna Jędrzejczyk if she wants to come back. But if not Joanna, the Marina Rodriguez fight would be super cool. I don't know who will be next for the title. Maybe Carla Esparza. She hasn't fought for a little while now. But yeah, so very impressive fight there from both ladies. Both ladies. Like I said, I think those are probably at the moment the two best women's strawweights in the world. That's why it would be interesting to see Marina Rodriguez versus Zhang Weili. See if she has any wrinkles to her game that Weili would not be comfortable with. But I don't know, man. Both of them look pretty tough in there, and even though Rose has beaten her twice now, I do have a feeling there will be a third matchup between those two. And I'm not too mad that it was a split decision. I mean, it was a really close fight, and going to the scorecards, I mean, I personally thought Rose won the fight just watching it live. I haven't watched it back since, but going to the scorecards, I wasn't sure who was going to win, so with that being said, let me know what you guys thought of that fight. Who do you think should be next for those two ladies? And if you like this video, leave a like, subscribe for more videos like this one. Like I said, leave a comment, let me know what you think, and thank you very much for